Hello, one and all. This is Step Ahead with Ernie Rivera. I am your host, Ernie Rivera, and we have a special episode for you today. That's right, I am doing my top 10 pieces of fiction. Top 10 pieces of fiction and the lessons I have learned from them. I hope you can learn a lesson or two from these amazing works of fiction as well. This video right here was a special request from one of our viewers, so let me get to it. Before I start, there will be a couple of caveats and addendums here. First of all, these are all books. That means plays will be excluded from this list. So we won't be getting any Shakespeare. We won't be getting any Greek plays like Medea or Oedipus. But we will be getting some epic poems. Epic poems are totally in play. And one more caveat and or addendum. I will say this. The writers on this list, I may not like them all. I may horribly disagree with some of the ways they've connected themselves in this world, but I am examining just their fiction and today and what can be learned from it and how it has affected me. So with that being said, there will be spoilers for all these books. Spoilers. So if you want to see a list of the books I will be referencing, you can find it down in the about section or whatever section it is. You know what I mean? So you can find the list right there. If you just want to skip past this, I recommend you don't, because there's a lot to talk about. But just so you won't be surprised by any spoilers that you may not want to get. So let's begin with number 10. Number 10. We have Beowulf. That's right, we are doing the epic poem Beowulf right now. I read this in high school. I've read this a couple times since, and I think this is a fantastic book. It is quite amazing. What I learned from Beowulf was pure will, and that is an important lesson right here. Beowulf, the epic monster slayer, he did a number of amazing things before he slayed Grendel, and Grendel's mother became king of the land. I forget which land, but he became king of that land before his final task. This is a guy who could swim marathons going on for days and days, the whole time killing sea serpents and sea monsters. He just powered through absolutely everything, and that is just so really awesome to be reading about. It goes down to the end where Beowulf fights a dragon who represents the devil himself, this pure piece of evil, and Beowulf is now the old king. He must give everything he has, and again he powers through to kill the dragon, but in doing so he dies himself. Sometimes we can't overcome every obstacle, but we can make the adversary pay a great price. That's what we can do. We can willpower our way through it. And that is my number 10, Beowulf. Number 9, we have The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Fantastic book, super interesting, about a man who's about to lose one home and lose another home. He's first losing his cottage in his little hometown, but he's also losing the Earth itself as it is going to be destroyed by an alien race. And this is about his adventures going through space with his alien friend, who shows him the ropes. And it's a story about a man coming into his own when everything is going crazy. It's about finding yourself in the void, and that is the lesson I learned from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Number 8. We have The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. The Old Man and the Sea, fantastic book, short book, really great. It's about this older local fisherman who decides to go out, and he needs a win today as things are not going his way in his life. So he goes out And this takes a couple of days as he finds himself stuck out at sea. He finds a marlin, I believe it's a marlin, straps it to a ship after this epic fight, just lasts forever. And on the way back, there's blood in the water. There's blood in the water from the marlin, and that attracts what? It attracts sharks. And these sharks are out for blood. They eat up that marlin. By the time the old man gets home, there's not a bit of fish left to sell. This book right here taught me about fortitude. And what is fortitude? Fortitude it's courage in the face of pain or adversity. That's fortitude, and that's what I got from this book. Number 7 is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, depending on your locale. And this is a book I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with. And here's why it made my list. I mean, there are a lot of lessons from Harry Potter, and I think what I like best about it, especially in the Sorcerer's Stone, is the idea of making family for yourself in the world. You know, sometimes we get lucky and we have everyone we need in our lives, and for a lot of people that's not the case, you know. But if that's not the case for you, that's okay. You know, there are other like-minded individuals out there who want to get to meet you, and you can form these tight-knit relationships with each other and make something beautiful. And that's kind of what I got out of the Harry Potter series. It's this epic tale, but it's about family. It's about coming home and making a safe place for those you love. And next on this list is The Island of Dr. Moreau. That is correct. The Island of Dr. Moreau at number 6. Number 6, The Island of Dr. Moreau. What is The Island of Dr. Moreau? The Island of Dr. Moreau is an H.G. Wells story. He was a famous science fiction writer at around the year 1900, roughly, more or less. And this is a wild story. So this guy, he finds himself shipwrecked, you know. That is to say, he fell off a boat, and he's trying to survive out in the water when all of a sudden this other ship picks him up, and they take him to this island where he has to stay for a certain amount of time before they can get him anywhere safe. On this island, he keeps coming across these bizarre people, bizarre looking, bizarre acting, and he wonders why. And spoilers. I can't tell you any more without giving away stuff. These bizarre men and women are the product of experiment on this island. They were once animals, and these animals were converted into humans. And the thing is, in this story, they form their own religion, and they make up rules for themselves in this religion, and they follow these rules. They follow these rules to the T, but the problem is that these rules are human rules. They're rules to act like humans, and it works for a short while for them, but it can't work indefinitely because they're animals. They can't live up to the human standard, and it causes nothing but pain and misery for them to try to. And this mirrors Wells's view on human religion. Like the animals can't live up to the human standard, many humans find that they cannot live up to the godly standard, whatever that is, in the Bible and in other religious texts, and it causes a lot of aggravation. And I drew parallels here, and I think the lesson that I got out of this book was you got to live for yourself, you know? I'm not asking you to break all the rules just to have fun. No, but, you know, use your best judgment. At the end of the day, you know, once you've been educated by teachers, by friends, by family, by life, you know, you got to make the rules for your life. You know, no one else can. You got to do you. At this halfway point, I would really like it if you guys would press like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get all the new videos as soon as I got them. As soon as I got them, you get them because you hit that notification bell. So thank you so much, one and all. Let's get on to it. Number 5. At number 5, we have another H.G. Wells classic, The Time Machine. Now, if you guys know me, you probably saw this ending up somewhere on my list. The Time Machine, brilliant, beautiful book about this gentleman. He's in a society of scholars, and he happens to tell them that he could travel through time, that he knows the secret. And in doing so, he finds himself trapped in a future. He's not the near future, although he does see the near future. He sees himself in the distant future, hundreds of thousands of years later, when spoilers, when human beings have diverged into two different species who now are at odds with each other for well, I don't want to give too much away because it's a good book, but what I will tell you is this: with this time machine, at one part of the book, he presses the lever forward before being knocked out, and he ends up going far into the future. We're talking hundreds of millions, if not billions of years later. It's probably hundreds of millions, but in any case, the atmosphere of the earth has changed. He doesn't see an animal in sight. He's gasping for air, trying to travel backwards, just so that he can get to a place where he can actually survive. And out of the corner of his eye, in this barren, desolate place, he sees a single black animal scurrying off in the distance. And to me, that meant, so many things. But I mean, one, life finds a way, and two, the world goes on. For me, this was very important because it's indicating to me how short and precious our lives are compared to the vastness of everything. Everything goes on and on and on and on, and we'll be dust one day, but we're not right now, and that's what makes this kind of a miracle. So it's kind of beautiful, and it was a scary read when I really started thinking about it, but it was really beautiful in life for me, especially when he saw that animal in the distance, showing that some way life finds a way. At number 4, we have Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. That is correct. The libertarian writer himself, Robert Heinlein, he wrote Stranger in a Strange Land, this crazy tale that tells a story about the first mission to Mars and how the people there, they kind of went mad and did away with each other, but not before reproducing an offspring that was adopted by the local Martians. And there he stayed until humans could get to Mars, not again for another 25 years or so. So this human boy was raised on Mars by the native Martians, and when he was found by humans 25 years later, he was brought back to Earth, where he became something of a local celebrity. And because of his position, the stake his parents had in these companies, the fact that he was the only human Martian, and the fact that he had wild and bizarre powers that were just beyond the thoughts of mortal man, he became, like I said, a celebrity. He became well known. He became everyone sought after him. But in this book, spoilers, he became something of a Christ figure, and we know how that goes. But yeah, it's this crazy, amazing book that tells about brotherhood and seeing things from different points of view, and why do we have the beliefs we have? So much of it is because that's how we were raised. But if we were raised in a completely alien environment, what kind of assumptions would we jump to about this environment? So what I learned from this book is personal responsibility. And again, this book is wild, but they talk about the idea of grokking something, and grokking is to imbibe, to comprehend, and make it a part of yourself. They talk about God being in everything and how we're all a piece of God and we can all be part of it, but only if you comprehend that You can do absolutely anything you want, but all of the repercussions come back to you. All of either everything, either negative or positive about your choices, are all on your shoulders. So we can do whatever we want, but everything always comes down to us. We are always personally responsible for everything we do, and that is a awesome message. At number 3, we have Gatsby. That is right. That is right, friends and family. We have the Great Gatsby. This is on a lot of people's list, and there is a reason for that. First of all, every character in this book, including Nick, they're all jerks. They're all hateable characters. Nick may be a little less, but everyone's kind of hateable. But that doesn't mean that it's not a good book. It's a great book. And what I learned about this is the idea of having a vision. You know, I personally think that Gatsby's greatest flaw was that he loved wrong. Spoilers again. He was more in love with the idea of something than the woman herself. I think that was his tragic downfall. But Gatsby saw himself a certain way. He created a vision. That's what this book taught me, you know, to see a vision and grasp it and go after it with everything you have. Gatsby saw himself as this educated, well-to-do, affluent person. He saw this character he envisioned in his own head. Even when he was dirt poor and just like struggling to survive, he saw this like he was a son of the universe, not of his parents, but he was something greater. But he saw this vision of who he wanted to be, and he became it through determination. Once he got that vision, he chased it with everything he had, and he became the idealized version of himself he always had in his own head, and I think that's admirable. At number 2, we have Starship Troopers. That is right. Starship Troopers is a wild, wild book, my friends. And a lot of you, especially if you're my age, you're going to be familiar with the movie. And the movie is excellent, but it is wildly different from the book. True story, the director of the book thought the book was something of fascist propaganda, which it really wasn't. He said this after... I believe after directing the movie, after finishing the movie, but he admitted after finishing the movie that he had only read the first 2 chapters of the book before finishing the movie. So, I mean, yeah, he gained some information on what Heinlein, again, this is another Heinlein work, was thinking, but he's not going to be able to grasp everything. But I think the movie is amazing satire, poking fun at a fascist civilization. I think the book is about leadership and personal responsibility. It's about taking it upon yourself to do what is right, not only for you but for everyone around you, to do to the best of your ability to make the best decisions you can with the information you have available. And again, should you mess up, that's all on you. You're taking responsibility for your actions. You know, we do the best we can with the information we have, and if that is wrong, we are responsible. We take responsibility. We own that responsibility. This is a great book on leadership, and it's a great work of fiction, and it's on a lot of people's to-read list. So check it out, Starship Troopers by Robert Heinlein. Before we get to number 1, we're gonna have some honorable mentions. But before the honorable mentions, I'm going to ask you one last time if you wouldn't mind pressing like, subscribe, and hitting that notification bell. It really helps me build my channel. It's really it's helping me with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much, guys. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And now for our honorable mentions, we have The Dunwich Horror by H.P. Lovecraft, and we have The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. The Metamorphosis and the Dunwich Horrors. Those are our honorable mentions today. And now, for our number one book. Our number one piece of fiction, we have Speaker for the Dead. Speaker for the Dead, excellent, awesome, amazing book. For those of you unfamiliar with Speaker for the Dead, it is the first sequel to Ender's Game. Ender's Game tells the story of a young boy who is a brilliant young boy who is coerced into being a general to fight an alien race. And here we have Speaker for the Dead, who takes that same character at a later age, about 30 years down the road, and sees his adventures traveling through space and coming across different people and different life forms. And this book is so amazing because, well, one, this is the first piece of fiction where I ever heard anyone talk about time dilation. I won't get into that. Look it up. Wild stuff. But more than that, this book is all about trying to understand the other, no matter how alien, how foreign, how whatever they may seem. Understanding that we're all life, no matter how different we seem, and finding beauty in that. To look at any life out there, any you can see, and understanding it, truly understanding it, and trying to make it a piece of yourself, so that it's with you always, so that empathy. It's all about empathy, the beauty in empathy, and again, you know, we come across people all the time where it just seems like they're just horrible people, but maybe we just don't know them well enough, or maybe we don't know how to know them well enough, or maybe we don't even know anything about the way they were brought up or anything. But it's about coming together, and that's why this book is so beautiful and so amazing. And just wow, look it up, Speaker for the Dead. I would suggest reading Ender's Game first, Ender's Game, and then Speaker for the Dead. Thank you again, one and all, friends and family, for being here with me today as we explored my top 10 pieces of fiction with a couple of honorable mentions mixed in there. So this is, yeah, these are just books that changed my world. So if you have any comments, again, I ask you keep it nice and civil, but let's have a discussion. Let's talk about this in the comments section. I'd love to hear what you guys think. So please leave a comment, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Have a great day, guys. Bye.